All right, there we go. Again, my name is David Schneider, Regional Director for the Wild West region. So thank you for hopping on and wanting and looking to learn a little bit more about some of the features that are available to our grassroots, which we're going to talk about TelePatriot, specifically on the Convention of States mobile app, the COS Action mobile app, which if you do not have the COS Action mobile app on your smartphone, that is absolutely step number one in this whole process. You got to have that on your phone. It's real easy to do. You can go to your Play Store if you have an Android, or your store if you've got Apple product. Those are the only two, Apple and Android, that we support, that have the app supported at least. So need you to go and download that if you haven't already. I'm assuming most on this call have at least have done that part. What we're going to do is talk about specifically a get out the vote effort that we've got going on in the state of South Dakota today, and give you a little tutorial on how to get going. The first thing, got to go over some ground rules related to the effort itself, which in this case is not necessarily promoting candidates, actually a get out the vote effort in the state of South Dakota. You're going to notice that there's scripts involved that are very generic, very vanilla, very much just encouraging folks to actually turn out and vote. The definition of a get out the vote effort is just that. That's ultimately what our goal is. The people that we've loaded into these lists are not Convention of States people. These folks are individuals that are registered voters in the districts that we're looking to target. And we have various selection processes in determining whom and how we select these folks, but it's not based on parties either. So it is a nonpartisan effort and very much a C3 type effort, which is educational, and which get out the vote is an educational process that we can take a part in. So I know there were some questions about whom the candidates are or whatever. That's really not the goal or the mission of this exercise. The people that we've selected are really the mission. We want to encourage these people to go show up at the primaries. And I can give you a little insight on those people. They don't always show up at the primary. And a state like South Dakota is different than a lot of other states that you may be familiar with, especially if you're from Michigan. Whereas the primary is really the only election in these races. There will be a general election in November, just like the normal race elections that you guys are familiar with. But in each of the get out the vote efforts that we're going to do in the state of South Dakota, there's absolutely no Democrats running in any of these districts. So the primaries are where the next sitting legislature are going to be set. It really doesn't matter who's running in these particular elections. You just need to encourage folks to show up. So you're not educating them much about the race itself. Now there is some scripts in there where you can kind of follow up and they can figure out who and get a sample ballot. And I'll go over that in just a second, but it's really not your mission to educate them on the candidates necessarily. If they do have questions about Convention States, feel free to talk about Convention States. It's an educational exercise. But again, we're not trying to influence votes. We're not trying to do any official canvassing or anything that's related to an election. This is completely an educational exercise. And there's various reasons legality wise that we have to keep it to that as far as the scripts are concerned. Now, that puts you on a phone with somebody in these districts, and you can have a conversation that goes off script. You're a person, you're an individual, so feel free to be personable and have individual conversations with these folks, but try to stick to the script as best you can to get going with this, whatever transpires after that, that's completely up to you. That's where we're going to start. So first and foremost, this is TelePatriot. So each of you should already be a TelePatriot volunteer. Now, I know there's going to be some folks that might see this video later, and if you go to the convention, or I'm sorry, the COS Action mobile app on your phone, and if you click on it, mine comes up. I've got this Wild West phone bank to get out the vote, and that's actually what we're going to be talking about today. Is the top article when I load it up talks about this call as well. But I'm not really concerned about the article necessarily today. I'm actually more concerned about talking about the TelePatriot feature, which to get to the TelePatriot feature on my phone, I have an Android. There's 3 slots or 3 lines in the upper left-hand corner of the app. And when I click it, it comes up with my name and some various things underneath it. Now, mine may look a little different because I have access to a lot more stuff across the country, not just my region, but the entire country. So I am on a lot of teams and that kind of stuff, but this should look very similar to what you get, other than the fact that it has my name on it. There you go, I see some. So in this case, I have the option of going to TelePatriot. If you do not see TelePatriot, that we have somewhat of a problem. There's a problem in your setup. There's something wrong with how we have you in our citizen builder system. And you're going to need to let Deanna or I know, and so we can kind of look at your profile in our system in citizen builder to get you set up correctly. It could be an issue with a private, or not privacy, but a volunteer agreement. It could be various other little things where you're not signed up on the team appropriately. But that's where we start. And of course, I sat it too long and it went to the screen. So the first thing I'm going to do is click on the TelePatriot option after I'm here. So when I go to TelePatriot, it then circles a little bit, and I've got a bunch of teams that I'm on. I don't know. There's a bunch. You might have 2, 3 that you're on, which probably include your home state, maybe a region within your state, as well as there's a national team, TelePatriot. You're probably on that. And the one we're going to be talking about today is the Wild West region team. So that one in particular is what this mission is actually under. It should be alphabetical as well. And that's a good thing because I have so many, I have to actually scroll to find the right team. So it's all the way at the bottom with the Wild West region team. If I click on that, it does this little thing for a little second, and then it automatically goes into a mission. There's a mission that pops up. In this case, it's South Dakota District 33 GOTV. So GOTV means get out the vote. GOTV, get out the vote. And it says we've made 60 out of 609 phone calls. That's what that means at the very top, underneath the heading. And then it goes right into a script. It says, or actually a description. This is a get out the vote effort in South Dakota. Very generic type of description. And you're going to see that the script is right below that. The best thing to do is kind of keep that script on a separate piece of paper or another, just write it down really quick, or have a second screen somewhere. I know most people don't have 2 phones where you can pull it up, but have it somewhere where you screenshot it or something so you have it available. So when you actually get on the call, you can read it. Because when you're on your call, it might not be on your screen, and you want to have that conversation when you're on your telephone. So the best practice is to have it separate if you can. And once you have it once, it's the same thing every time. So in this case, I've got a call that's set up, and if I hit the red button here, it'll actually call this individual, and then we'll have a conversation. And my plan would be just to go through the script. Hello, my name is Dave, and I'm a volunteer with Convention States. I'm calling to ask you to vote in the very important South Dakota primary elections on June the 7th. Please find time to vote in this very important election and make sure your values will be represented with your elected officials up here. That's it. That's the script. After that, you see some helpful information. This is to help you with some back stories so you actually understand a little bit about what's going on. The individuals have to be registered with a party to be able to vote. So if they say I'm not registered to vote, these all should be registered voters. We kind of selected that. Now, there may be an error, or they might have somebody else on the phone that answered their phone or something along those lines. But you're trying to encourage anybody that answers the phone to actually get out and vote for on the 7th. District 33 has 2 Republicans running in the Senate in District 33, and there's currently no others that have filed. Now, this is our first get out the vote effort. There's going to be some other districts, and I'll try to update these with different information as the districts change. But they're going to see a kind of a similar scenario where there's not a Democrat that's filing. And that's kind of key with our C3 status. This is a nonpartisan type of activity. So again, we're not advocating for Republicans or Democrats or Libertarians or Asian Americans or Martians or anything else. We're literally just trying to get folks and provide them with a little bit of information about the race itself without being partisan. The primary is on June 7th. These are facts. Early voting for the primary is now open, right? So if they have that question, can I vote now? Yeah, you can vote now. Early voting is already is taking place in the state of South Dakota, but the actual election does end. The actual in-person election starts on June 7th, and of course the voting does end at that point. There is a link that's also included in that. If any individual, if they have any additional questions about their ballot or anything like that, that actual link there that I have is a sample ballot that they can go to. They can put their information in, which includes their name, their address, that kind of stuff. If they go to that website, it literally will give them the ballot they would see if they go in person. So that is there. So I'm going to pretend I don't want to actually call this because I don't want to take it out of the loop. I want somebody to actually call this individual. But when you do make a phone call, I'm going to stop that call before it even happens. So it comes up and saying that I made a phone call. I know that's hard to see. There it comes. And then it gives me some options to choose. So, in this case, I didn't actually get a hold of her. I didn't even make a phone call in this case. But I'm going to do a probably just a no answer. And then when I hit a no answer, it's going to ask me for some call notes. There are some pre-formatted call notes. There's not very many in there. The pre-formatted, if you click on pre-format, there's going to be 2 that pop up: left message or no answer. Nothing big. That's exactly what it is. So in this case, I'm going to put no answer, apply the note. And you can alter that note as well. You can add to it, subtract from it, whatever you need to do. It's just somewhere to start. This was a sample call I didn't actually make. And I actually can read those notes. So as you're going through there, if there's something, these are very helpful notes for us.
While you're doing that, Dave, can I add a little bit about the link?
Yep.
Most of these phone numbers on the TelePatriots that I've done, most of these phone numbers are cell phone numbers, and they're okay with having a link texted to them. So you just, highlight that link to, just exactly what it is, and then just say, I'll text this to you right away. And then just go back in, because it's going to be in your call history in your phone, and you text it. It's so simple.
That's correct. I also have a link that is prepared in a, so if I go in my call history, if I click where it says Teams, where I click on, there's parked in history at the top. If I go to history, That was kind of my next thing. You can see that person is in my history. And if I actually click on that person, it says exactly what I did with them. No answer. I didn't actually call this person. I'm trying to get to.
You have the option to put them back in the loop.
I can add a follow-up. If I click that blue button at the bottom, I can add a follow-up or add a note. So I can add an additional note. In this case, I want to do a follow-up. Now it says send email or send text message. Now, there are no email addresses for these individuals. All we have in these people are their cell phone numbers. And it is very important that we selected individuals, we have their cell phone. This is why Deanna did allude to it. You can, just text like you normally would, like she said, if you know how to copy and paste. But if you select the text option here, whoop, 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 select text message, you can see her phone number pops up. And then if I go to enter your message or use the pre-format, if I click the pre-formatted, it actually comes up with a text message, including that link. I've already preloaded it in there for your phone to be able to use. Now, in this case, it says the primary election in South Dakota is where the decisions are made. Please find time to vote. Early voting has started for June 6th primary. More details, and then it gives that link itself. So if they click that link, they can get a sample ballot right away. So in this case, all you need to do after you've selected the pre-format is click that little check mark up in the upper right. I'll go ahead and see if that works. And boom, it loads right into a text message right on my phone. Everything's right here. You can see that very text is ready to rock and roll from my phone. So all I do is push the send button and it's gone. And it came from my phone.
Is the primary on June the 6th or June the 7th?
June the 7th.
Okay, well, your text message said the 6th.
Did it really?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a Monday. I think it's just a misprint,
Could
but
be.
I just want everybody to know that it is on the 7th. That's all I want
Where,
to say.
yeah, I appreciate that. And I'm prone to errors just like anybody else. Where does it say the 6th? So I know where to fix
Well,
it.
you, when you were sending your text message,
Okay.
it said June 6th. I don't know what it says in the script. Is that me making that noise?
It's a bird. I hear
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, then it is me. No, I'm just kidding.
it. Yeah, I see it. It is actually in the text. So I'll get
Okay.
that fixed for you.
All right, make sure that the script doesn't have.
All right. So I appreciate that. And then I'll make sure I update that text, that sample text. That's an easy fix. It is June the 7th. It's not June the 6th. That's a great catch. Thank you. That's it as far as that, how to send that follow-up text. Now, you don't have to do that after every phone call. What I would suggest doing is after you make a series of phone calls to go then to your history and then follow it up with text, because it is kind of a different process and you can go through your history and send the text, pretty quick. And then if you want to make some more calls, you can hop back over to the teams and then get back into the Wild West team and start making calls right where the team is and right where you left off. It only allows you to send text to the individuals that you had prior called. So that's how the system's built. So that in a nutshell is how to make a phone call on TelePatriot and then do a follow-up text, which is all that is available in this particular Go Get Out the Vote effort. There is an email function. I kind of skipped over that. There is no ability to send an email and to get out the vote, but in a regular TelePatriot mission where you're calling our supporters, a lot of times we're going to have their email. Now, and sometimes we do have that available for you to follow up with an email. And that's actually a really cool feature as well. Again, it's not available in the Get Out the Vote effort that we're going to be doing here. But I did see that somebody had a question. What was the question? Yeah, let me unmute you really quick. And you might have to unmute yourself.
To respond to it.
There
Okay,
you go.
I responded. I just wanted to say from my Android, I just sent the text that we want to read to my printer. So now I've got to print it out. And it was very easy to do from up here, this corner of your Android.
Mm-hmm.
There's the little logo that shows for sending it elsewhere. You can send it directly to your printer, so it's printed out for you. You don't have to write it. You don't. Everything's so easy.
Well, you're advanced. Well, I don't even have that set up on my printer.
Well, it just comes up. Here, I'll show it to you. Real
You've
quick.
got a network printer then, huh?
Oh yeah, I've got a,
Yeah.
yeah. But here's the little whatever, greater than or less than, whichever way you're looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just select to have it sent to your email and then to your printer.
Correct.
That's the easiest way.
Yep. Yep. You can email it to yourself, is what you're saying, and then print
Right.
it off. Yep.
Right.
Perfect. Yep. You can even text it to yourself or anybody else, or heck, I could post it on Slack. Yeah, I could do all kinds of things.
There you
That's pretty
go.
cool.
Absolutely.
Yep. Very good.
It just
I learned
makes
something
it
every day.
easier.
Yep. Appreciate that. That's a great little tip.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions on this? That's great. All right. Deanna, anything you would like to add?
No, I see we're almost down by what, 75 calls are already down because we started at 6:09. I've got 537 left on mine. We'll give or take a couple. And yeah, the more people we tell about, the more people are going to get the notification and we get out the vote. We're on the ground here in District 33, I can tell you that.
Yeah, this is
Quite a few people knocking doors.
yeah, this is absolutely meant to supplement what we've got going on in the grassroots already in the state of South Dakota. I love that Shirley's on. She's the state director for the state of South Dakota. So she's here to learn as well and to yeah, Shirley, did you want to add anything? Just got to unmute you.
Okay, yeah. It's the only thing I want to add is that it's a great opportunity. Get out there, make the phone calls, invite people, get involved. And that's about all I got to say.
No problem at all. Appreciate all your hard work there, Shirley, in South Dakota. And I'm going to cut the recording because I think our training is done. And then we can have.
Can I say one more thing?
You
I
bet.
have an iPhone. And
Mhm.
all your demonstrations have been with Android, and the iPhone is a bit different than the Android.
It is.
So I
I'm
don't
glad
know.
you're on.
Well, if you're recording, people with iPhones may not understand it if it's their first time they've ever done TelePatriot.
No, I
I've done
appreciate you.
TelePatriots like for months now, so I'm understanding all that. But
Yeah.
I don't know if somebody that has an iPhone will understand what's going on.
Well, I appreciate you bringing that up, Kathleen. Can you possibly let us know what the minor differences are between the two?
Oh, well, first of all, your COS Action mobile app does not have the selections that you have. They're all at the bottom of your mission statements. Okay, so you're going to have your the regular home page, which is the one that shows you Wild West Phone Bank, but in the middle it's got TelePatriot, and you have to click that on to access your mission statement. It is kind of like what you said about, selecting which mission it is. But when you go in there, you have to close it out. When you go out, after you make your phone call, then you can go, you have to hit close. And then you go into your history, and that's where your follow-up texts are. And hopefully whoever has an iPhone can figure that out. I mean, and if they don't, then I guess they have to call me. They can call me if they want to. I can put
Appreciate
it on a
it.
chat, my phone number on chat if they need to get in touch with me for any reason. If that's okay.
Sure. I
Okay.
appreciate you bringing up that difference. I too often forget that there is another world out there that utilizes Apple products. I'm such an Android user that I would be lost. In fact, my kids have Apples, and man, I can't do anything with those phones. So there is differences, and we have two different apps to exactly what you just said. So my screen is going to look different. I appreciate you going through the differences somewhat there, Kathleen.
Okay.
But if you do have questions, I do have some folks that are very familiar with the Apple products, the app itself. And I rely on Grant Martin, the regional director. Grant, he's got Apple products, and I'm his Android guy. So
Okay, so they can
Yep.
call him if they, or they can call me. I'll put it in
Yep.
chat. That they can get in touch with your grant person.
I appreciate that, Kathleen. Yep.
Okay. All right, that's all I had to say.
Cool. Is there any other questions related to the app or this particular mission? Okay, I just wanted to also say that this is the first mission. There's going to be other ones that are going to come out. And it's not just going to be South Dakota. We're going to kind of roll this into some other states, especially after we get through the primary in the early states. Montana's up at the same point that South Dakota is with that June 7th date. And then we start moving into some other states. So just because we're not in your state right now, we're going to be. So this is kind of our first hurrah as a region, kind of working together in these type of supplemental type roles. It may look a little different in each state just because of local laws. So just, as the scripts change, it is for a reason. And they may be more, hopefully we can get more to a partisan basis where we can actually talk about candidates and who we want to win and all that good stuff in the script. More of that to come. But in this effort, again, get out the vote is very nonpartisan basis. So that is why it is what it is. So again, I'm going to stop the recording and I'll be happy to answer any other questions and whatever else we got.